How do you make sure guys don't lose confidence after a weekend like in Buffalo?
To remain strong within the locker room on a day-to-day basis, within practices, within meetings, within the way we conduct ourselves on and off the ice. And, that starts with coaches, and then it goes down to the captains of our team, and then obviously our players here. And, there hasn't been any ambivalence at all in our locker room over the last few days here. And I think there's even more of a hunger going on. And, obviously it's a frustrating time here right now with, going into a building and playing reasonably well, but not getting a result. And I think the only period that we thought we left on the table was Friday night, the first period. And after that, I thought, obviously we've done the right things, but it's not good enough to get the result. So now we're working on things to try to get that result. And again, it's a group that's pretty strong and confident, but yet hungry.
This might be a question that gets answered down the road, but do you feel like this is a crucial point in this season for you guys?
Yeah, and I think every time we, come into a weekend, it's a crucial point. Every weekend we get into, you're playing college hockey, you're playing 2 games a weekend. It's not like you're playing an 82-game NHL schedule. So every weekend is crucial. And, the biggest thing for our group is to know that, there's 16 NCHC games, but in actuality, Friday night is the only game that matters. The Friday night is the game that you want to win, and you have to win, and you want to keep moving forward here. So again, yes, absolutely, it's crucial every weekend, but our mindset is the short term, and that's Friday night.
Is it almost more frustrating when the team plays well but still comes up short than when they just play like that?
Well, I think it is very frustrating. I think it's, I think anytime that you have compete and passion and drive in your game and you play and you don't get the result, that's ultra frustrating. It's when you don't have that drive and passion and you lose a game, and then you have a concern. And I don't believe we have that. I believe we have the other. Every game that we played other than the Saturday Western Michigan game, we've had that. And a game, it's one of those things where here at North Dakota, you keep grinding, you keep moving forward, you keep finding ways. We've been through adversity like this before with this group, with other teams, other coaches have been through this. We have to get through it again, and the only way you do it, it's just like Brad said, you become stronger as a group, and there's no ambivalence in your game.
What has Jordan Kawaguchi meant to this team this year, taking the big step into the team points?
Well, you know what? He's a guy that's taken a step from year 1 to year 2 of all the different things you have to do to get to this level. And, he's a guy that, went through the BCHL and had a lot of success scoring. So I know for him personally, I think he feels a little bit frustrated because that's his game. But in saying that, he's done a lot of great things, to provide a little bit of offense for us. And we see a guy in the long term here that's going to be very beneficial to our group, and he's going to have a good, successful career here. But he's a guy that's grown. And, when you look at other guys, the Drake Kajulas, those type of guys that have been here 4 years, kind of similar games, it was a little bit of adversity going forward, and you grow through your time here and to the point where they'll be dominant players. And I feel that he is a dominant player for us now.
What are you expecting from CC this week?
Yeah, they're a team that plays fast. They've added a lot of skill to their forward group. They've got experienced players. I mean, I think they carry 32 players, and they have 8 seniors on their team. And they didn't lose anybody from last year. And that whenever you have that you have experience on your team, that's a big deal. Not losing anybody from your group. So they're a team that has grown over the last 2 or 3 years here to the point where they've increased their skill level, and they play fast and they play hard.
What is it about them that's given you fits over the last few seasons?
I think their goaltending. I think, obviously their goaltending, Leclerc has been very good for him over the last couple of years. We faced him. He's a guy, we watched a lot of tape on him. We played against him here. We're going to have to get traffic, and we're going to have to get, I heard the other guys coming in here in the media scrum, the things we got to finish plays, and part of finishing plays is staying at net front and grinding away and finding ways to get the greasy goals, and that's what we're going to have to do, against a very good goaltender.
When you have a high volume of shots and very limited goals, is the message keep peppering the net or take better shots?
I think a little bit of both. I think the first thing is shot selection. If you're coming down the ice and there's nobody driving the net, there's chances to curl up or delay to make plays, to wait till somebody gets to the net front. But first and foremost is getting the net front and making sure you're there. I think we're there, but we're not staying on pucks, and we got to make sure that we have, not just one guy, but 2 or 3 guys at the net to try to finish plays. And, when things aren't going in for you on a consistent basis, it's a simplicity. It's the hardness that you have to make sure that you keep doing on a repetitive basis.
I think the last couple of years before you went to the Moose, there were teams here that really struggled through the first half of the year and went on big runs in the second half. What did those teams do in the second half, and what do you want to see some more?
Well, I think team-wise, obviously buying it, playing the system, and being harder in the system. But I think individuals got elevated their games a little bit. You know what I mean? And I think it's one of those things without putting added due pressure. Because in times like this, when you don't score, that's when you really grip a stick and really try to force things that aren't there. But I think one of the things that has to become is investing in your daily activity of what you can do to elevate your game without doing too much, if that makes sense. Like I said, the old Bill Belichick thing, do your job to the fullest that you can, but invest in your game to try to do your job at the best that you can.
Any updates, injury updates?
Joel Janatuinen out. Johnny Taconic day-to-day. And Grant Mishbash day-to-day.